Hey guys, Adam Perry here, and I am going to go over tonight's NHL DFS slate, and it is one of the last slates. We've got tonight, tomorrow, Thursday, and then it's playoff time. So we'll definitely do some videos for the playoffs. I don't think it changes much, except that it will make the kind of news and sloppiness of the before lock stuff a little bit easier. You get more and more line changes, guys out, strange things happening, goal fiestas like that. That night we had like 2 or 3 8 goals, and you get all that sloppy stuff at the end of the season. But what we also have is 10 games. We don't have the greatest contest on DraftKings, but there's plenty of money to be made. The single entry's got like 10K up top. The flagship got like 5,000 up top. It's plenty to build for. It's also plenty to build for because we're honing our process, right? DFS is about process over results and getting reps in every day to do the best we can every day to learn these tools so we could do them right before lock. So we could do them and we could do them the same way every time and in the best way, but maybe not the same way. One thing I've learned, I'm going to say this, is if you have a really set process that like the back of the hand, like the back of your hand, it really helps you kind of innovate, right? Because once you have it down, you could kind of apply your mind to other things. You could apply it, whether that's knowing the news, whether that's thinking through different sort of concepts, ways to understand the ROI, the Saber score, all that stuff. So I would say just get a process down, and that's what we do every day on this show. So let's go ahead and build some lineups. We'll do DraftKings and FanDuel. People always ask for both. We'll see how the ROI sim out for like the 20 max, for the flagship, for the high stakes. We'll go through all of it. One thing I want to do here, I really don't care too much about minimum salary. I mean, you could care a little, I think, on a 10-game slate. It's not a small slate where you could kind of play anyone, but I think it's fine to keep it at 0. Now, the one thing I am going to do, this is a 10-game slate. I see no reason to build these kind of lineups we're never going to play. I am asking of it to build me highly correlated lineups that could take down the flagship. I mean, it still has 1,000 people. 10 games, there are plenty of outlier performances. So I'm asking for nothing less than a 4-3. And then I'm ready to build. And we'll run it for the flagship. Then we'll do a separate build for the single entry just to get that process kind of down. We'll see who we get to. When you constrain it, when you say only build certain kinds of stacks, it goes a little bit slower. You don't get that total instantaneous. Now, one thing I didn't switch to Goldie's projections, but that's okay. We'll build one on SaberSim's projections, see who we get to, and we'll build one on Goldie's and see how that changes. One of the things, even if you don't think the projections matter, and listen, projections are all good at this point in 2025. People are really, honing in that sort of process of creating projections. But even if you think there isn't a lot of difference between the projection sets, the little differences change who you get to a lot. And just using Goldie's projections, we've noticed, always differentiates us from different SaberSim users. So it's really, really a good way, especially as the fields get larger, to just get something pretty different than you'd get from these play-by-play sims. So yeah, while it's building too, remember to like and subscribe if you like what you see here, if you're following every day. If it's your first time, like and subscribe. And check out TrueDFS.com. I really think you get more value than any other site because you get SaberSim, you get the pay dirt model that we've been using for betting on NHL props, and that you could use for DFS, which is a really exciting and useful model. We've had a lot of success in the Discord with both of them. And the thing is, the price is not much more than it is just for savers. So it's like 20 to 30 bucks more if you get a core package. And you get that. You get Sheets' projections, Goldie projections, the premium Discord, again, that pay dirt model, SaberSim. It's all there. The price is right. Check out a trial if you want. But yeah, think about it. I really think it's the best deal in the industry. So, all right. Let's say we're running 20 in the flagship. We're sorting by ROI. Who do we get? First of all, not a lot of 4-3s. A lot of the onslaughts. Pretty diverse here. Healthy amount of Tampa, which is not a bad. I mean, they don't have a bad total. It's a tough game against Florida, but Tampa can score, man. You get those onslaughts at Tampa with their power play. I mean, they've got an elite power play, so don't mind that. 60% is a lot, but we're pretty diverse otherwise. But let's say we just want a little more diversity. You know what you could do? You could say take it down to 45% and see how that changes your stacks. Now we've got a little bit more diversity. You know, and you're within your rights to just send this off. You've got a pretty diverse portfolio of 20 lineups. The ROI, I mean, it takes you down to your $35th lineup. I mean, not bad, right? But the other way you could do this, you could use min uniques and see how that affects your ROI. You know, okay, what's our top? So right now in our top 20, we go from 278 ROI down into right. But there's variance in the sims. I mean, we don't have to. Let's not take too much into account with these ROIs. We're not going to have a 200% ROI. This assumes our projections are perfect and spot on. Assumes that the contest we're simming against has the field exactly right. Assumes a lot of things that ain't going to be the case in the real thing. But we could. I think it's safe to say these are plus EV lineups, and over time we'll make money playing them. How much? I don't know. 5%, 10%. So let's see. Let's take that off. And now you can ask it for some uniques. You know, uniques gets us some diversity. It takes it down to 55. Let's see how far down in our lineup pool. We're only going to the 28th. 4 uniques. This is another way to do it, and you might get some diversity within your stacks. Now we got to the 45% Tampa. We go down a little further with some diversity in the players we're exposed to. You know, that's one way to go. 4 uniques. If we got 5 uniques, how far down in our pool are we going? How much ROI are we giving up here? Not bad. 131. I mean, if you were playing 150 max, you'd still be within there. So there's variance in the sim. So now you get 45% St. Louis. Look at that. So maybe we take that down. So give me a most 30% St. Louis. I'll take the exposure. I'll take them against Utah with a decent total, but not that much. Let's see how this looks. Then you get 20% Tampa. Now we're real diverse. You know, maybe this is the way to go. DFS is so highly variant, so volatile. We have a lot of outs this way, right? We're not concentrated on anything too high. We may not be too concentrated on the top overall ROIs, but we spread out, and our lineups aren't competing with each other. So I don't know. If I was playing the flagship, it's 10 minutes before lock. I'm ready to go. I save it to the contest and submit. There you have it. People ask who you like tonight. This is what I like in the flagship. I don't think we'll get much difference in the 20 max. I mean, let's see if we still get that Tampa recommendation. if we simulate a 20 max contest. Now get out of here. I love Jordan. I don't want him to get out of here in general. Just right then. All right. 20 max. Hip check. Let's run the sims. Hopefully I don't get fined. Guess he says stop saying run the sims. It's another competitor. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run the contest simulations here and see what we get to for 20 max. You know, you could run another sim for the flagship and see what you get to. It could change, right? Sometimes a lineup just doesn't pink. Sometimes a bad lineup does pink. Let's sort for the 20 max. Let's take off uniques. Let's see if it recommends all that Tampa. Now 143. Wow. No, St. Louis. Good amount of Tampa, but a lot of St. Louis. Now it's a 20 max. We don't want to go as far down, right? Like I don't know if I want to play 5 uniques in a 20 max. So maybe I do it this way. Let me say, give me a most 40% St. Louis. Let's keep our 40% at most Tampa. Then get diversity. Now, one thing we don't do that we should really do is like just because you're getting 40%, I mean, it could be 40%, but it's your 2-mans, right? It could be 40%. That's different than if it's your 5-mans, right? So we have 40% St. Louis, but they're not our main stack, right? We have all that Tampa, but they're not our main stack. Here we got some nice diversity. Oh, they are our main stack. Sorry about that. But it's the onslaught. Okay. And then we get differences in the 2s. See who we're exposed to most here. I'm going to guess like we'll get correlated goalies and things. Yeah, there's Vasilevsky. Where's our exposure? Why do they pull it over here? This is a much more natural spot for it to be in. Yeah, all that Vasilevsky, correlated. Bennington, correlated. Why not? Correlation is king. You get the goalie in there. SaberSim loves that. You get different opinions on this, right? Pay dirt, different model. We get different opinions. Next year, we're going to really work on making those kind of sing together. But yeah, SaberSim loves correlation in all ways. It loves those onslaught stacks. It loves getting your goalie in there with it if it can. That's its way to take for a takedown. Who am I to argue? I didn't build it. I trust these guys. They're great data scientists. I see the screenshots and the frequency of winning. It's enough for me. So big fan. Let's see. Let's build. Let's do. What if we rebuilt? No, let's do FanDuel, right? People should do that. I was going to do for single entry, but let's do FanDuel. People always ask me to do FanDuel. We don't do it all the time. Let's take these off. Let's use Goldie's projections here. And let's only get stacks we're going to play. I'm not playing less than a 4-man on a 10-game slate. All right, let's build and simulate the flagship. See what we get to. Then we're going to do a couple best bets in the pay dirt model. Look. We had 2 shot on. We did the 2 highest shot on goal bets were, well, who was it yesterday? Seth Jones and Brady Shea over 1.5 shots. They both took a shot. We didn't get there. We won our assist bet, but it was an under on Arvidsson. And he was like a 66% chance, but we did cash it. But we've had, I think James said the ROI on the pay dirt model is about 5% on the year, something like that. So pretty darn good. And remember, you get these with the TrueDFS subscription. So don't forget, like and subscribe. Check out TrueDFS.com. You can try the tutorial, see how you like it, see how you do. You know, DFS is high variance, so you never know. But check it out. Get access to a lot of things that you'd pay a lot more money for if you bought them a la carte. All right. Oh, why is FanDuel so much slower? All right. We got 5,000 lineups. And normally that's what I would, we didn't have to wait. Before lock, I would always build 5,000, get the pool as big as I can. Run this sim. As you can see, it's running. All right. Well, right off the bat, I'm not saying Tampa, but that's one lineup. Stacks. Got all our 4 stacks. Ottawa, Toronto, Columbus in the smaller stacks. So our main stacks we're getting to on FanDuel are Ottawa and Toronto. We got the Leafs and Buffalo. I mean, that works, right? Good total. Buffalo gives up goals. We know that. We've seen them get into some real outlier stuff throughout the year. We've got Columbus as our small stack against Philly. Solid total. I like it. And then who do we say? Ottawa. Ottawa's our highest exposed. Where are the centers? There they are. Oh, and then in one of the nut matchups, right? It's probably the nut matchup on this slate against Chicago. Anaheim's pretty bad too. Yeah. Okay. So, this is not too diverse, but it's nothing crazy. And if we're playing DraftKings and FanDuel, you got exposure in a lot of different places between the two sites. And you have to remember that, we build this portfolio on DraftKings, we build this portfolio on FanDuel, but if we're playing both, our money is one portfolio, right? So we have to think about that. And we have to think about how much, how leveraged or over leveraged we are on one team across the two sites. This goes for any sport, right? Baseball, basketball. Basketball's more on the player level than thinking about it in stacks, but same thing. Players matter in baseball, which players you use in your stacks, things like that. So yeah, I mean, I like the that we're getting to different teams on both sites, and I'm pretty ready to go. So let's check out the pay dirt model, see like where best shots are. Just look at the best edges for shots on goals we've been doing. See if we got better for an over. 39%. Wow. I mean, same goes with the ROIs like we saw in SaberSim. It's never quite that, right? It's the model assumes the perfect assumptions of its underlying assumptions for the projections it creates, right? Because it's a bottom up model. But all right. So who is this top edge for shot on goals? Anderson over 1.5, 183 in decimal odds. So what is that? Let's convert decimal odds to American. I think you calculate this. There's a calculator I looked at. What was that? 183 minus 120. I mean, this is a pretty big edge, right? So you could play it. If you get minus 110, you're probably fine to still play this. But there you have Rasmus Anderson. Over 1.5 shots on goals is the best shot on goal prop bet in our pay dirt model. And, there's many more showing edges. We got 10 games tonight. So this is another one of those things you get with a package that just can't be beat. That you just can't do a la carte at prices like this. Let's see assists. We get these long shot assists are fun. Bedard. So that's 150. That's 155. All right. So that's the biggest edge on an assist bet. Connor Bedard plus 155. You see, I got my Bulls shirt. Blackhawks fan. I love it. Okay. So there's two good bets. You get more of these. If you like and subscribe, you get this at TrueDFS.com. We're in the process of, you might see there's a lot of stuff. It's confusing. We're in the process of updating and consolidating and getting the website really clean and nice. But it's all there. All this info is there. So like and subscribe. Check out a package. Think about how you're playing the slate. We just went through our process that we do right before lock. And good luck. And